why do you believe that the talks between farmers and the government has entirely broken down despite several assurances made by the government?
Well, I think there are two parts to it. One is that the proposal is not, I think, fully spelled out. I think I think what is supposed to happen I think the farmers think of a scenario where, there is a monopoly of one or two large corporates that are holding them ransom. Whether that's going to happen or not, that's anybody's guess. I don't think that's guaranteed. But I think that the proposal to reassure them needs to have a fair amount of detail on how we deal with the eventualities of that kind, the bad eventualities. What does the government at least promise that it would step in certain situations? Can we spell out some of the possible reasons for the government to step in? That's part of the problem. It is the lack of, I think, assurance that, if there is a problem, it will be taken care of. The other part, the other part of the problem is more deeper and I think more serious, which is that I think in general, for example, if the government were to say, look, we'll give you, we're going to move you over to a cash platform so that, instead of getting subsidies for this and subsidies for that and subsidies for this other thing, we will give you, and there's an electricity bill that's supposed to come with this farm bill, etc. Really, there's all of those pieces are kind of around. So I think that, and there I think there's a deep lack of trust. And I think that's what you hear articulated, is that it's not that they think that, well, the government will eventually make it good for us. I think, and that's not unreasonable, because I think the current situation, I think even they understand they got a very good deal somehow. So I think it's easy to lose very good deals because it's a good deal that's not shared with many people. So it's a deal that's easy to lose. So I think that I saw an op-ed today which said, well, why don't you give that same good deal to other people? But the other people are not necessarily in a position to get the same good deal. So I do think that there is a real challenge in navigating this space where I think having a lot of trust would help.
So the government does, however, say that everything will be assured, guaranteed, MSP, several of the other demands made by the farmers, but they still say the laws won't be revealed. So why is that not good enough?
Well, it's I think that if you saw even laws are not quite good enough. If you think of the GST negotiations recently, I mean, I think the states had entitlements under the GST Act, and those were, they were treated as being flexible, let's say, by the federal government. So I do think that there is space for mistrust, and I think in the end it is somehow their sense that, this is all part of a process of taking it away from them. Whether they're right or wrong, I think it's not that I think I and everybody else has, including the farmers, I think recognize that, the water situation in Punjab is dire, for example, and that, getting something that would work, which will make the water table not vanish in the next 20 years completely, it would be a good thing. So I don't think that there is a sense in which they're completely immune to that argument. I just think that they feel that, when you tell me this, tell me something that I really believe will come my way. And I think and the current conversation doesn't seem to have the right instruments. The government is not willing to make a very large permanent commitment under PM Kisan, which would be the kind of thing that might actually become viable. If you really said per hectare, I'll give you X rupees, which X is a significant number, maybe that would work.